Hi, English learners.
Welcome back to the English Daily Learning Podcast, where we slow down real English and make everyday conversation easier to follow.
I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo.
Today, we're talking about opinions.
The thoughts we share about movies, food, work, travel, relationships, technology, and almost everything else.
Expressing an opinion sounds simple. You say what you think.
But in a real conversation, another question appears immediately.
How can you say what you truly think without sounding cold, aggressive, or rude?
Especially when the other person has a completely different opinion.
Or when you need a few seconds to organize your thoughts in English.
I know that feeling. Someone asks, "What did you think of the movie?" I have many thoughts, but the only sentence that arrives is, "It was good."
Then, 5 minutes later, all your interesting ideas appear.
Exactly. My English becomes excellent after the conversation has ended.
In this episode, we'll explore how people share opinions naturally, how they make strong ideas sound respectful, and how they keep a conversation open when they disagree.
We will not try to remove disagreement.
Disagreement is normal. Two people can respect each other and still see the same situation differently.
The goal is not to hide your opinion behind 10 polite phrases.
And it is not to make every sentence weak or uncertain.
The goal is to choose language that matches your meaning, your relationship, and the situation.
We will hear examples from casual conversations, meetings, group decisions, and online discussions.
And we will look at what to say when your first sentence comes out more strongly than you intended.
Because good communication is not about never making a mistake.
It is about noticing what happened and knowing how to continue. Mia, why can sharing an opinion feel more stressful than describing a fact?
A fact usually stands outside you. An opinion feels more personal.
If I say, "The meeting starts at 9, nobody is judging my personality.
Right. But if you say, I think this plan is a mistake, your idea enters the room with you.
And if someone rejects the idea, it can feel as if they are rejecting me.
That feeling becomes stronger in another language because you may not know how your words sound.
I might want to sound clear, but accidentally sound angry.
Or you might become so careful that nobody can understand your real position.
Maybe, perhaps in some small way, it could possibly be slightly not perfect.
After that sentence, we still do not know whether you support the plan.
So there are two risks, too direct and too vague.
Exactly. Natural opinion language lives between those two extremes.
Does culture also affect this?
Very much. In some families, classrooms, or workplaces, people disagree openly. In others, disagreement is expressed more indirectly.
So the same sentence can feel normal to one person and uncomfortable to another.
Yes, that is why it helps to listen to the whole interaction, not only the grammar.
What do you mean by the whole interaction?
Your tone, facial expression, timing, and the words around your opinion all matter.
That's wrong. With a hard voice, feels very different from, "I'm not sure I see it that way."
And the relationship matters. You may speak differently with a close friend, a new coworker, a manager, or a stranger online.
This sounds complicated.
It can be, but you do not need a different language for every person. A few flexible patterns will cover many situations.
So we are building choices, not memorizing one perfect sentence.
Exactly. You need a small range, from light and casual to clear and strong.
Before we choose a phrase, should we know what kind of idea we are sharing?
That helps. Not every statement needs the same introduction.
Can you give me an example?
The cafe closes at 6 is a fact. I prefer the cafe near the park is a preference. I think the city should keep cafes open later is an opinion about what should happen.
Preference is personal by nature.
Yes. If you say, I prefer quiet cafes, people understand that you are describing your taste.
I do not need to prove that quiet cafes are objectively better.
Exactly. Problems begin when we present a preference as a universal fact.
Quiet cafes are better. Everyone knows that.
Now, a simple preference sounds like a judgment about everyone else.
So adding "for me" can change the feeling.
It can. For me, a quiet cafe is much more relaxing.
What about "in my opinion"?
It is correct and useful, but it can sound formal if you repeat it in every sentence.
In my opinion, this coffee is strong. In my opinion, The chair is uncomfortable.
In everyday conversation, I think, I feel, I prefer, or simply a natural statement often sounds better.
When is, in my opinion, a good choice?
When you want to clearly mark an idea as your personal view, especially in a more formal discussion.
For example, in my opinion, the proposal needs more detail.
Yes, but remember that I feel is not always interchangeable with I think.
What's the difference?
I think often introduces an evaluation or conclusion. I feel can introduce an emotional reaction or a softer personal impression.
I think the deadline is unrealistic.
That sounds like an assessment. I feel the deadline may be too tight. Sounds more personal and slightly softer.
Neither one is automatically better.
Right. Choose the one that matches what you mean.
Let's begin with the phrase everyone knows. I think.
It deserves its popularity. It is short, flexible, and natural.
I think this restaurant is a little expensive.
Good. I think we should leave earlier.
I think the second design is clearer.
All natural. But your tone still decides whether the sentence feels friendly or final.
How can I think sound final?
Imagine someone says, I think this is the only sensible choice, with strong stress on only.
That does not leave much room for another view.
Exactly. I think is not a magic politeness button. The rest of the sentence matters.
What can I add when I want to sound open?
You can say, I think this might be the best option. Or, I think the second design works better.
Might makes the first sentence less absolute.
Yes. Works better also focuses on the design rather than attacking the person who made it.
Can I say, I don't think this will work?
You can. In English, that often sounds more natural than, I think this won't work.
The negative moves into the first part.
Right. I don't think this is the right time is clear, but not unnecessarily sharp.
What if I need time before giving my opinion?
Use a thinking phrase honestly. Let me think for a second. That's an interesting question. My first thought is,
My first thought is that we need more information.
that phrase shows your view is still developing.
It also gives my brain a little time.
Natural speakers do that too. A pause does not mean your English is weak. It may mean you are thinking carefully.
I like my first thought is because I do not feel trapped by the sentence.
Exactly. You can change or develop the idea as the conversation continues.
Earlier, you mentioned a range from light to strong. What does that range sound like?
Let's use one topic, working from home.
Topic with many opinions.
A light opinion might be, I tend to prefer working from home.
Tend to means this is generally true, but not always.
Yes. A normal, clear opinion is, I think working from home is more productive for me.
And a stronger one?
I strongly believe flexible work is better for this team.
The words strongly believe show commitment.
They do. You might also say, I'm convinced this change will help.
That sounds quite strong.
It is, so use it when you have a strong reason or evidence.
What about, I guess?
I guess is weaker and more casual. It can show uncertainty or that the decision is not very important to you.
I guess the blue one looks better.
Fine when choosing a cup. Less useful if your manager asks whether a major project is safe.
I guess the bridge is probably safe would not create confidence.
Context decides the right strength.
Can a learner sound rude simply because the words are too strong for the situation?
Yes, obviously, definitely, completely, and everyone knows can close the door very quickly.
Even if the opinion itself is reasonable.
Compare, obviously, this schedule is impossible, with, I think this schedule may be difficult to manage.
The second sentence invites discussion.
And if you need to be stronger, you can say, I'm concerned that this schedule isn't realistic.
Strong, but still focused on the problem.
Exactly. Strength and respect can exist together.
Is an opinion stronger when we explain why?
Usually. A reason helps the other person understand your thinking.
I prefer the earlier train because it's usually less crowded.
Clear and useful. The reason does not need to be long.
Sometimes I give 5 reasons because I want to prove that I am right.
Then the conversation can turn into a speech.
How many reasons are enough?
Start with one good reason. If the listener wants more, they can ask.
So, I think we should postpone the event because the weather forecast looks dangerous.
Exactly. You can also connect a reason with the main reason is,
The main reason I prefer the smaller apartment is the location.
or what concerns me most is the cost.
That phrase sounds useful in a serious discussion.
It shows where your opinion comes from.
What if my reason is based on personal experience?
Say that. In my experience, shorter meetings are usually more focused.
That does not claim that every meeting in the world follows the same rule.
Right. You can also say, from what I've seen, or based on what happened last time.
Based on what happened last time, I think we need a backup plan.
Very natural.
Is it okay to say, that's just my opinion?
Yes, but listen to the word just. Sometimes it sounds modest and relaxed. Sometimes it sounds defensive.
Like I expect someone to attack me.
Exactly. That's how I see it anyway, can be a softer conversational ending.
The ending felt rushed to me. That's how I see it anyway.
That shares the view without demanding agreement.
We focus a lot on disagreement, but agreeing also has different levels.
It does. The simplest response is, I agree.
Clear, but sometimes a little flat.
In a natural conversation, people often connect the agreement to a specific point.
I agree with you about the ending.
Or, I think you're right about the cost.
What if I agree strongly?
Absolutely. That's exactly how I see it. I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more. Sounds as if I do not agree, but it means the opposite.
It means your agreement is already at the highest possible level.
Can I say exactly?
Yes, it is common and energetic, especially when the other person expresses the idea you were trying to explain.
And what about casual responses like, same?
Very common among friends. I couldn't focus in that meeting. Same.
Short, but natural.
You can make agreement more valuable by adding something.
I agree, and I think the same problem appears in the second half.
Good. That is sometimes called building on an idea.
So, agreement does not have to end the conversation.
Exactly. Try, that's a good point. It also makes me think about,
That's a good point. It also makes me think about people who work different hours.
now the conversation moves forward.
What should I avoid?
Be careful with automatic agreement if you have not understood the point.
I once said, absolutely, and then realized the person had asked a question.
That is a brave level of confidence.
Now I use, I see what you mean, when I understand the idea, but am not sure I fully agree.
Excellent. That phrase respects the other person's reasoning without promising agreement.
Many real opinions are not simply yes or no.
Exactly. Partial agreement is one of the most useful skills in conversation.
What does it sound like?
I agree up to a point. I can see both sides. That's true in some situations.
These phrases show that part of the idea makes sense.
Then you can introduce your concern. I agree up to a point, but the cost is still a problem.
Is but too direct?
Not by itself. But is normal. The problem is when everything before but sounds false.
Like, that's a wonderful idea, but it's terrible.
Exactly. The positive opening should be honest.
Could I say, I see your point, but I think we need more time?
Very natural. You can also use at the same time.
I understand why people like the convenience. At the same time, I'm worried about privacy.
That sounds balanced, because both ideas receive space.
What about on the other hand?
Useful when you are comparing another side of the issue. It is slightly more structured.
Working from home saves travel time. On the other hand, some people feel isolated.
Good. Another gentle phrase is, that may be true, although...
That may be true, although the change could be difficult for smaller companies.
Yes, but do not collect softeners until the sentence becomes impossible to follow.
I see your point, and that may be true. And perhaps on the other hand...
Choose one bridge, then say the real idea.
So partial agreement is not a trick to hide disagreement.
No. It is a way to show the part you genuinely recognize before adding a different view.
That feels more honest than pretending every discussion has only two teams.
Most interesting questions have more than two sides.
Now we reach the sentence many learners worry about. I disagree.
I disagree is grammatically correct and not automatically rude.
But it can sound formal or strong in a relaxed conversation.
Right. Often people say, I'm not sure I agree, or I see it a little differently.
I see it a little differently sounds calm.
It places two perspectives next to each other instead of declaring one person wrong.
What about, I don't see it that way?
Also natural. Your tone matters. With a calm voice, it is clear and respectful.
Can I begin with a question?
Yes, especially if you may have misunderstood. Do you mean that everyone should follow the same schedule?
The answer might reveal that we do not actually disagree.
Exactly. Many arguments begin with two people responding to different meanings.
If I do disagree, can I say, I understand what you mean, but I don't think that would work for our team?
Good. Notice that you criticize the idea's effect, not the person's intelligence.
Compare, that idea makes no sense.
With, I'm not sure that approach solves the main problem.
The second sentence gives us something specific to discuss.
Specific disagreement is often kinder than a general negative judgment.
What if someone asks me directly, do you think I'm wrong?
You can answer honestly without making the situation dramatic. I think we may be looking at different parts of the problem.
Or, I understand your reason, but I reached a different conclusion.
Excellent. In a closer relationship, you may be more direct. I love you, but I really don't agree with that.
Warmth and disagreement in the same sentence.
Because disagreement does not need to threaten the relationship.
The language should communicate, we are still on the same side as people, even if our ideas are different.
Exactly.
Some learners worry that soft language makes them sound weak.
Softening and weakness are not the same thing.
What is the difference?
A softener manages the social feeling of a sentence. It does not have to remove the meaning.
Give me a sentence.
This report is confusing.
Direct and clear.
Now, I found this section a little difficult to follow.
The second version still communicates a problem.
But it describes your experience and points to a specific section.
What common softeners should we notice?
A little, a bit, maybe, perhaps, might, seems, and I'm not sure.
The plan seems a little risky.
Good. Maybe we could look at another option.
That sounds like a suggestion rather than an order.
Exactly. But too many softeners can weaken an urgent message.
If there is smoke in the kitchen, I should not say, perhaps there might possibly be a little fire.
Correct. Say, there's a fire, we need to leave.
So politeness must fit reality.
Yes. Clear communication is especially important for safety, boundaries, and serious decisions.
How can I be firm without being rude?
Use calm, direct language. I'm not comfortable with that. I can't agree to this deadline. I need us to discuss this before we continue.
Those sentences do not apologize for the boundary.
They also do not insult anyone.
I notice they use I and describe the needed action.
That often helps. You are responsible for your position without turning it into a personal attack.
Soft when the situation allows, firm when the situation requires.
That is the balance.
An opinion becomes a conversation when we make room for the other person.
Exactly. After sharing your view, invite a response.
What do you think?
Simple and useful. You can also ask, how do you see it?
That sounds slightly more open.
Or, does that match your experience?
Good when the topic depends on personal experience.
In a group discussion, try, I'd be interested to hear another perspective.
That invites difference instead of only asking for agreement.
Yes, but the invitation must be real.
What does a false invitation sound like?
That's obviously the best choice, don't you think?
The question tells me which answer you want.
Exactly. Compare it with, I prefer the first option because it's simpler. What stands out to you?
Now I can notice something different without fighting the question.
Listening after the question is equally important.
I should not spend their entire answer preparing my next argument.
Right. Show that you heard the main point. So your concern is the time, not the cost.
That also gives them a chance to correct me.
You might say, have I understood you correctly?
This seems especially useful when English is not the first language for one or both speakers.
Very useful. Clarification protects the conversation from unnecessary conflict.
And if I need more explanation?
Ask, what makes you feel that way? Or, could you say a little more about that?
Those questions sound curious, not challenging.
Tone matters again. Genuine curiosity is one of the best ways to make disagreement feel safe.
Let's hear these ideas in a casual conversation.
All right, we watched a very popular movie last night.
And I loved it.
I did not.
This friendship is already in danger.
Ask me what I thought.
So, what did you think of the movie?
Honestly, it didn't really work for me.
Really? I thought it was fantastic.
I can see why people enjoyed it. The visuals were beautiful, but I found the story a little predictable.
That's interesting. I actually liked knowing where the story was going.
Was that because you could focus more on the characters?
Exactly. I thought the simple plot gave the characters more space.
I hadn't thought about it that way. I still wanted a stronger ending, though.
That's fair. The ending was probably the weakest part.
See? We disagreed, but the conversation became more interesting.
Nobody said, "Your taste is terrible."
And nobody pretended to like the movie.
Let's notice the useful phrases. You began with, "It didn't really work for me."
That presents the opinion as my reaction.
Then you recognize something positive. The visuals were beautiful.
Because I genuinely believed that.
You said, "I found the story a little predictable," instead of, "The story was stupid."
Specific, personal, and easier to discuss.
Then you asked why I liked the simple plot.
Curiosity kept us from repeating the same two opinions.
And I partly agreed about the ending.
Real conversations move. People clarify, adjust, and sometimes discover that they agree on one part.
So the goal is not to win the movie.
The movie will survive either way.
Casual conversation is one thing. What changes in a work meeting?
The relationship, responsibility, and consequences may be different, so structure becomes more helpful.
Let's imagine our team wants to launch a new service next Monday.
And you think the date is too early.
I could say, "This is a bad idea."
Clear, but not very useful.
Let me try again. "I have some concerns about launching next Monday."
Good opening. It signals disagreement without attacking the people who created the plan.
The testing team still needs 3 days, and we haven't prepared the support materials.
Now you have given specific reasons.
I think moving the launch to Thursday would reduce the risk.
And you offered an alternative.
So the complete response is concern, reason, suggestion.
A very useful structure at work.
What if my manager strongly prefers Monday?
Listen first. Maybe there is a deadline you do not know about.
I understand that Monday is important for the campaign. My concern is that customers may have problems before the support guide is ready.
Excellent. You recognize the business reason and keep your concern clear.
Could I ask, would it be possible to launch a smaller version on Monday?
Yes. Questions can create options without hiding your position.
What if the meeting is moving quickly and I cannot build a perfect sentence?
Use a short entry phrase. Can I raise one concern? Or, could I offer a different view?
That gives everyone a moment to shift the tension.
Then speak simply. I don't think the timeline includes enough testing.
Simple English can still sound professional.
Professional communication depends more on clarity and respect than on long vocabulary.
And if someone disagrees with me,
Ask which part they see differently. Do you think the testing can be completed sooner?
now we are discussing the real issue, not defending our personalities. Opinions often appear when friends or family need to make a decision together.
Yes, and those decisions can become emotional because everyone is affected.
Let's plan a weekend trip.
You want a busy city. I want a quiet village.
I say, the village will be boring.
And I immediately begin defending every village in the world.
Better version. I'd prefer the city because there are more things to do in the evening.
Then I can say, I see your point. I'm just worried that the city will feel crowded after a busy week.
We now understand the need behind each opinion.
You want activities. I want rest.
Maybe the real solution is a smaller town with good restaurants and access to nature.
Exactly. If we only argue about city and village, we may miss the needs underneath.
What question can reveal those needs?
What's most important to you about this choice?
What's most important to you about the trip?
I might answer, I want to come home feeling rested.
And I might say, I want us to have something fun to do at night.
Now compromise becomes more creative.
This applies to choosing a restaurant, an apartment, or even what to watch.
Yes, sometimes an opinion is only the visible top of a deeper preference or concern.
If I ask about the reason, I may find a solution that respects both sides.
That is why good opinion language includes good questions.
Not only, how can I say my idea, but also, how can I understand yours?
Exactly.
Online discussions often feel less polite than face-to-face conversations.
Text removes tone of voice, facial expression, and immediate feedback.
A short sentence can look angry, even when the writer was only being efficient.
And people often respond to the strongest possible meaning.
Someone writes, "I don't like this update," and another person reads, "Everything you created is worthless."
Online, it helps to add enough context for your tone to be understood.
What might that look like?
I like the new layout overall, but I'm finding the navigation more difficult on my phone.
Specific experience, specific problem.
Exactly. Avoid attacking motives you cannot know.
Instead of, "The company clearly doesn't care about users."
Say, this change makes the mobile experience harder for me.
What if someone posts a strong opinion that makes me angry?
Pause before replying. Ask yourself whether a public argument will improve anything.
Sometimes the best opinion phrase is no phrase at all.
Silence is a communication choice.
But if I respond, I can ask for clarification.
When you say the policy doesn't work, which part do you mean?
That moves from a general claim to a specific discussion.
Also remember that very short comments are easy to misread.
So a small signal can help. I may be missing some context, but
Yes, if that is true. Or, from my experience with the mobile version,
what should we avoid?
sarcasm can travel badly across cultures and languages. So can phrases like, calm down, everyone knows, and do your research.
Those phrases usually increase heat without increasing understanding.
A useful question is, am I trying to explain my view, or am I trying to make this person feel small?
If it is the second one, closing the app may be the wisest answer. We've used a lot of balanced language. What if my opinion is genuinely strong?
Then express it strongly, but choose the target carefully.
The target?
Criticize the action, policy, or idea rather than the person's worth.
I strongly disagree with this decision.
Clear and appropriate in many serious situations.
This decision ignores the needs of part-time staff.
Specific. You can explain the impact and what should change.
I believe we need to review the schedule before it is approved.
Strong, practical, and focused.
When does directness become a personal attack?
When the language moves from the issue to labels. You're selfish, you're ignorant, or only an idiot would think that.
Those sentences make respectful conversation almost impossible.
You can describe the effect without guessing the person's character.
That comment felt dismissive.
Or, I don't think that description is fair.
What about setting a boundary?
Be direct. I'm willing to discuss the issue, but I'm not comfortable with personal insults.
That is not rude.
No. Politeness does not require you to accept disrespect.
Can we disagree and then stop the conversation?
Of course. I don't think we're going to agree today, so let's pause here.
Or, I understand your position, but my view hasn't changed.
Sometimes a respectful ending is better than another 20 minutes of repetition.
Strong opinions need clear endings too.
Yes. A conversation does not fail simply because nobody changed their mind.
It may succeed because both people understood the disagreement and kept their dignity. Let's talk about repair. What if I realize my sentence sounded much stronger than I intended?
Repair it immediately. Do not hope the sentence will disappear.
What can I say?
That came out more strongly than I meant.
Very useful.
Then restate the idea. What I mean is that I'm worried about the timing.
So, this plan is ridiculous. Sorry, that came out more strongly than I meant. I'm worried we don't have enough time to test it.
Much better. The apology is connected to a clearer explanation.
What if I use the wrong word?
Say, that's not quite the word I wanted. Then choose another.
I don't mean careless. I mean, the process feels rushed.
Excellent repair.
Can I check how the other person understood me?
Yes. I'm not sure that sounded the way I intended. Or, does that make sense?
What if the other person looks hurt?
Acknowledge the effect, not only your intention. I'm sorry. I can see that sounded personal.
Saying, "You misunderstood me," would place all responsibility on them.
Exactly. Communication includes the words we send and the effect they have.
Sometimes learners apologize for having any opinion at all.
That is different. You do not need to say, sorry, but I think, every time you disagree.
Save the apology for an actual problem.
Right. Repair is a strength because it protects the conversation without erasing your view.
I can change the language while keeping the meaning.
Exactly. I still have concerns, but I want to explain them more clearly.
Could we hear a longer conversation that uses several of these ideas?
Let's imagine we are helping organize a community event,
The team wants to hold it outdoors in the afternoon.
and I think the evening would be better.
I'll begin. I think the afternoon is the safest choice. Families with children may not want to stay out late.
That's a good point. At the same time, I'm worried the afternoon will be too hot, especially for older visitors.
I see what you mean. The forecast does look warm, but an evening event might need more lighting and security.
True. What if we started around 5? We would avoid the hottest part of the day without finishing too late.
My first thought is that 5 could work, although we should check when the sun sets.
Agreed. I'd also like to ask the families who attended last year. Their experience may help us.
That's sensible. I still prefer an earlier start, but I don't think we have enough information to decide today.
Same. Let's collect the weather, sunset, and visitor information, then discuss it again tomorrow.
That conversation contained disagreement, but it did not feel unfriendly.
We recognized valid concerns on both sides.
We gave reasons instead of repeating preferences.
We used questions to discover what information was missing.
And neither person needed to win immediately.
The decision improved because the opinions were different.
That may be the most important idea in this episode.
A different opinion is not always an obstacle. It can reveal a risk, a need, or an option that nobody noticed before.
Respectful disagreement can produce a better result than quick agreement.
Especially when people feel safe enough to speak honestly.
Let's bring everything together.
First, know what kind of idea you are sharing. Is it a preference, an impression, a conclusion, or a strong position?
Then choose a phrase with the right strength.
I tend to prefer for a light preference.
I think for a clear, everyday opinion.
I strongly believe. When the view is genuinely strong.
Give one useful reason instead of building a long speech.
Use personal frames when they are honest. For me, in my experience, or from what I've seen.
When you agree, connect your agreement to a specific point.
I think you're right about the timing.
When you partly agree, name the part you recognize.
I see your point. At the same time, I'm concerned about the cost.
When you disagree, focus on the idea and its effect.
I see it differently. Or, I'm not sure that approach solves the main problem.
Ask questions before assuming you understand everything.
What makes you feel that way? Which part concerns you most? Have I understood you correctly?
Use softeners to manage tone, not to hide your meaning.
And be direct when safety, boundaries, or important responsibilities require it.
If your words come out too strongly, repair them.
That came out more strongly than I meant. What I mean is,
Most importantly, remember that an opinion is an invitation to exchange perspectives.
you do not have to sound certain about everything.
You do not have to agree with everyone.
And you do not need perfect English before your ideas deserve space in the conversation.
Clear, respectful language allows your real thoughts to appear.
And careful listening allows someone else's thoughts to appear too.
That is what turns opinion into conversation.
The next time someone asks, "What do you think?" take a breath and begin simply.
I think is already enough to open the door.
Add a reason, stay curious, and let the conversation develop.
If this episode gave you useful language for real conversations, please like the video and subscribe to the English Daily Learning Podcast.
New episodes bring clear, natural English into everyday situations.
And if you have an opinion about today's topic, share it respectfully in the comments.
We'd love to know which phrase feels most useful to you.
Thanks for spending this time with us.
Take care, and keep sharing what you think.
See you next time.